In a girlish bedroom full of Billy small TV plush dolls and various figures such as 2233, the white curtains are opened 40 centimeters in gaps, allowing the sunlight outside the window to illuminate the small bedroom. The sun shone on the white bed, and there was a girl with light blue and white hair on the bed. The girl is wearing a pink pajamas, with soft bangs slightly covering her cute eyebrows. Her light blue hair is scattered on the white cotton bed. Her hands and legs are firmly holding the Billy small TV pillow. Her peaceful face is white and ruddy. It's like a porcelain doll that can be broken by blowing. This cute and explosive cute girl is Izumi Sagiri, who is also the name of the otaku Suhong after he became a girl. Don't get me wrong, Izumi Sagiri in this world is not the manga teacher in Iramanga Sensei, and her real age is not 12 years old. This is an overhead world. Sagiri studied at a private girls' high school in Tokyo. She was in a senior year off due to illness. She is 18 years old and she is only 150 centimeters tall. She is a real legal loli. In other words, at the beginning of 3 years, the highest death penalty is invalid for her. Well, Sagiri's eyebrows were slightly frowned. After being exposed to the sun, she rolled to the right subconsciously, and found that she was still in the sun, so she rolled to the left again. Unexpectedly, she rolled around without avoiding the embrace of the sun. Xiao Segumi's eyes opened a gap slightly, and she reached out to grab the quilt behind her. With a flick of the little hand grabbed an empty hand. Sagiri looked puzzled, her eyelids slowly opened, and she found that the little TV quilt had fallen to the ground. The little Sagiri of the girl's otaku's heart, first rubbed her eyes, then stretched her waist. She couldn't help making a lazy sweet sound. Okay. Sagiri realized that her voice was a little weird, and then she looked at her clothes. They were pink girls' shorts and pajamas, and her chest was slightly bulging. This was an unprecedented phenomenon. Could it be that? Sagiri was surprised, and his right hand slowly stretched out towards Opie, and when he rubbed it lightly, he felt a strange tingling sensation. With, Segumi blushed and got up with lightning, ran to the mirror to take a photo, and was stunned. Light blue hair, the temples fall just in front of the small breasts, and the soft bangs just cover the eyebrows. The magnificent eyes like stars are particularly eye-catching, plus the height is not too high, it is the most adorable and beautiful loli. Sagiri squeezed her tender and white face with an incredible look, and muttered to herself, "Is this me?" As early as the day before, I just went to Station B to watch the new show Iramanga Teacher in April 2017. Unexpectedly, I woke up and turned into Izumi Sagiri. In addition to transforming into a cute girl, he also has a cartoonist system in his mind. In my mind, the cartoonist system is showing Sagiri's message. Name, Izumi Sagiri. Fan value, 2 active talent, introductory painting skills. Passive talent, the most adorable loli temperament. Sound is soft and easy to push down. Sagiri looked at the introduction of this system, and couldn't help being surprised. This mysterious thing of the system could happen to her. Speaking of myself, I have become a girl. Even if something more mysterious happens to me, it is nothing strange. Are you just getting started with drawing skills? It seems that I am not a manga artist. Sagiri secretly guessed. It's not right, I should be thinking about how to become a boy. Sagiri was originally a straight man. Although when watching anime, he always thought about what would happen to become a girl, but when it was his turn to become a girl, this strange feeling made him very uncomfortable. It is detected that the host is in good mental state, and now he starts to instill the memory of the former host. At this time, the field of vision suddenly changed, the world revolved, and scenes of memories played at the speed of light in Sagiri's brain like a revolving lantern. It turned out that the country I lived in was Huaxia, and Japan was counted as a minority autonomous region of Huaxia in this world, so the Japanese name was also retained. Here, the full name of Japan is Japan and the Autonomous Region. If you want to trace history, Sagiri discovered that Japan had become a subject of China as early as the Tang dynasty. Until the end of World War II, Japan was named a minority autonomous region, and it has been developing to this day, becoming an economic province of China. The industry with the strongest economy is the cultural industry animation. Manga industry is the leading industry in the Japanese autonomous region, and it is world-renowned. It is a business card of the Japanese autonomous region. And I live in Tokyo, Japan. The people here have dual languages. The first language is Mandarin, and Japanese has become the dialect of the Japanese autonomous region, and its status is similar to Cantonese, so Japanese songs are also relatively popular in the Chinese list. In addition to Japanese songs, Sajiri's biggest concern is of course the animation industry. Sajiri learned from his memory that the comics in this world are popular with Marvel elements and Blood King's comics. Marvel is the American superhero comic series. Something like Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America, etc. are Marvel's masterpieces. Hot-blooded Wang Dao Man, similar to the three major migrant comics Naruto, Reaper, and One Piece. These three super-long serial comics are so popular that even migrant workers know its existence, so they are called migrant workers. But in addition to these three migrant animations, the previous lives of Lulushu, Fate, Magic Forbidden, Iramanga Teacher, Herber Eater, Attack on Giant, Second 5, Your Name and many other big fire animes have not appeared one after another. It doesn't matter if I cross into a parallel world, how would I live without these anime? Sajiri is a typical home squat, staying at home either watching anime or visiting Station B, sing and chat live, read novels, and listen to music. Is the system there? What is the master's order? Sajiri's brain heard the electronic analog sound of the system, and he couldn't help showing a bit of joy. It seemed that the system was not a dead thing. It's so boring here. If the master feels bored, here is a gift package for the newcomer to alleviate the urgent need. Sajiri heard the words, and gently curled his lips. The underworld system was the system, and his speech was so rigid. So she stomped on the floor and said angrily, "No, I want to go back, let me go." "Sorry, the system does not have the ability to travel through time and space, please forgive me. Let me go back." "Sorry, the system can't do it. Turn me back into a boy." "Sorry, the system can't do it. Yuan at %mmp. Sajiri was very angry, walking back and forth in the room, stomping on the floor from time to time, asking back and forth dozens of times, and finally got tired and had to admit his fate. "Where is my newbie gift bag? New book spree +1. Do you open the newbie gift package?" Sajiri heard the words, thinking this is nonsense. "Congratulations on your talent for full marks. Congratulations on obtaining the LV1 talent of close body defense. Congratulations on your acquisition of the God-level comic library, which is connected to the original Earth animation library and has a synchronous update function. Name, Izumi Sajiri. Fan value, 2 active talent, full score drawing technique close-up anti-wolf technique LV1 passive talent, the most adorable lowly temperament. The sound is soft and the body is soft and can be pushed down. Sajiri found that the God-level comic library was not in the talent list, so he took a closer look in his mind and found that there was an extra search box in his mind. This search box is similar to the search tool of the previous life. Entering keywords can search a lot of websites. And this search in Sajiri's mind can only search for anime. After a while, the system issued a newbie task. Novice task: publish serialized comics on the internet and collect 666 fans in 2 weeks. Quest reward: close-up anti-wolf technique level +1. Sajiri's eyes lit up when he saw this task reward. Don't look at the close-up anti-wolf technique +1, but it is of great significance to myself. Imagine that a weak and cute lorry walking on a dark path, was suddenly captured by a gangster with one hand, and then forcibly came. When Sajiri thought of this picture, he was agitated all over, and secretly said, "No, you reading www.yuyugonshu.com must be full of anti-wolves, so that the boys who are close to me will get out. That's right, after Sajari accepted her identity as a cute girl, she determined to be a single dog and rejected all boys. In order not to be bullied by the gangsters, Sajari turned on her mobile phone and went through the major animation websites. In the animation circles of the Japanese Autonomous Region, there is a popular hot-blooded kingly manga, such as Reaper, Naruto, One Piece, Fairy Tail, Eva, Gintama, Slam Dunk, Dragon Ball, Naniwa. Animations such as Guest Sword Heart are works that everyone loves to hear. As for other comic elements, not to mention that no one reads them, but they are relatively unpopular. Funny, passion, adventure, horror, science fiction, fantasy, campus, suspense, reasoning, harem, love, tanmei, fan, lily, mecha, pure love. The classification is quite broad, but the total number of comic works in other categories add up to not as many hot-blooded comics. It seems that the road to comics has a long way to go. Sajari watched for more than half an hour, and suddenly discovered that there is no cute category of comics in this world. In other words, most cartoonists in this world stay at the level of violent aesthetics, and have not delved into the selling point of selling cute. How terrible is a world without cute girls! Sajari mourned for the otakus in this world. Thinking left and right, Sajari does not intend to follow the trend. After all, the big cake is evenly divided by the great gods. If you want to collect fans, it is best to take a creative path. The elements of selling cuteness, sister control, and micro-age together must be able to hit the hot-blooded comic market. Iramanga teacher, it is decided that it is you. Sajari's eyes flashed with excitement. How, feel the turbulent torrent of the cute world. The translation of Teacher Iramanga is My sister is Teacher Huang Man. It is about a high school student who is a part-time light novel writer. Izumi Masamune has a sister who has not been out of the house for a year. In a live broadcast I accidentally discovered that my illustrator was his righteous sister, so the story revolved around the two brothers and sisters. People who see the title of a comic book for the first time must have some unhealthy thoughts in their hearts. Those who first saw the Chinese translation of the animated version are probably moving towards cute elements. Search, Teacher Iramanga. An animated version and a manga version flashed in my mind. In contrast, Sajari decided to use the original image quality of the animated version. After all, Sajari is rushing to sell cuteness. The animation version has more cuteness points than the comic version. Only with this excellent picture quality can the cuteness points be maximized. Moreover, the element of micro-age can quickly attract boys' pursuit in a short period of time. When they enter the pit with unhealthy thoughts, the cuteness of the work itself will cause huge visual conflicts in today's hot-blooded comic market. It can be called a big killer for attracting fans. Since it is a perfect painting technique, I simply pursue the highest picture quality. God-level comic library is updated synchronously with the original Earth animation library, so the animated version of Iramanga Teacher has just been updated to the 4th episode. 4 episodes are enough, and it will be updated every Monday. Sajari counted with her fingers. One episode of anime contains a huge amount of information, which is far from being solved by one episode of comics. However, the number of pages to draw is determined by the manga author, so Sajari wants to draw more of the content of the first episode, and it is best to finish the content of the first episode of the anime. Sajari looked around, looking for a computer, but found that this room only had a tablet, drawing board, and pencil, but no computer. The system, no computer, only a tablet, what picture do I draw? Sajari furrowed her beautiful eyebrows, her cheeks were bulging, and she looked like, are you kidding me? Sorry, the system does not have the function of realizing physical objects. The system said he was also helpless. Shahu rolled her eyes and couldn't help holding her forehead. As the possessive system of a traverser, you can't even realize the function of real objects. You must be the most low system in history. Sajari decided not to talk to this mentally retarded system, for fear that his IQ would be affected. Sajari sat on the bed and began to quietly think about the way out. The system released a newbie task, saying that it would collect 666 fans through webcomics within 2 weeks. This is not groundless, there must be a way to solve the problem. It's not a way to sit still when encountering difficulties. Sajari feels that he needs to walk more to meet the chance, so he aimed at the outside of the room door. If you stay in a house and stay still, no chance will fall from the sky, at least if you don't have a computer. With a squeak, Sajari opened the door carefully. As Sajari squatting heavily at home, she was a little bit resistant to walk out of the door and move around. There were no people in the wooden floor aisle. There were 2 doors on the left, and a small sign was hung on one door that said Giabelli. The small sign in the innermost room says Raphael, and there is a circular staircase in front of him, leading to the living room on the first floor, indicating that this is a double-story building. Izumi Raphael is Sajari's older sister, 20 years old this year, studying in the Department of Finance at the University of Tokyo. Due to the early death of his parents, Raphael, as the eldest sister in the family, has been earning money to support the family since high school. The expenses of the family are supported by the sister. Sajari didn't want her to work too hard, so the idea of buying a computer had to be forcibly cut off. As for Izumi Gabriel, it is Sajari's younger sister. She is 16 years old this year. She is studying at Tokyo Private Girls High School, just the first grade of high school. She is also a heavy house girl, playing games in her bedroom every day, and never tidying up her housework. She often eats instant noodles to live her life. She spends all the pocket money sent by her sister every month. By the way, Gabriel has a computer. I can borrow her computer to draw pictures. Sajari's eyes flashed and saw things turn for the better. There are only 2 people in the family who have computers, one is the work computer of her sister Raphael, and the other is Gabriel's gaming laptop. As for Sajari's own computer, in the last month, the computer system malfunctioned and the motherboard burned out. At that time, Sajari liked a few cute miniskirts and JK uniforms, so Sajari took it to pieces. The computer was sold to a computer accessories store for pocket money and then purchased online with a mobile phone. Thinking of the 30,000 yen miniskirt and JK uniform, Sajari felt blood dripping in her heart. If she didn't wear it a few times, she would lose a lot. Is it really good to wear women's clothing? Although Sajari has accepted the fact that she is a girl, she has not completely changed her psychology. However, the cute girl's JK uniform must be so beautiful, it is useless to be a female high school student without wearing it. Not right now, I should think about newbie tasks instead of wearing JK uniforms. Shahu walked to the door of Gabriel's room, knocked on the door, and said, "Open the door of Gabriel," and finally realized that her voice hadn't knocked loudly. Da-da-da, Sajari knocked on the door 3 times, and no one answered each time. Strange, isn't Gabriel at home? Saul looked at the phone. It is now 7:30 in the morning. It stands to reason that the decadent Gabriel should still be at home. Are you still sleeping late? Sajari thought for a while, then shook his head in denial. What a joke, Gabriel is an internet-addicted girl who plays games all night until before class. Da-da-da, Sajari knocked the door several times, and the sound was like a drum, which would surely convey the sound. After a while, there was still no movement inside the door, as if dead silence. Sagumi-chan retracted his hand and gently kneaded the red and swollen right finger, squeezing the cute eyebrows together, both angry and cute. Since the door is not open, then forget it. Sayachan sulked back to the bedroom, took out the phone and thought of QQ again. QQ is the super social software of China, and it is no different from the QQ of the previous life, so Sa Jiang logs into her QQ, clicks on Jia Bailey's avatar, and chats privately, are there. Playing in the game. Jia Bailey returned in seconds. Why didn't you open the door just now? I don't want to move, the key. Gabriel still responds in seconds, and the words are simple, for fear that typing one more word will kill her. Seeing this message, Sajari wanted to get angry, but couldn't get angry. Okay, Gabriel has seen too much in her previous life, and Sajari also understands what kind of urine she is. One word: lazy. I didn't expect that the anime plot of the previous life really happened to my sister, which made Sajari feel ridiculous, but she was very happy. Is really an ambivalence, maybe this is human nature. Friendly reminder from the system, the key is in the small drawer on the left side of the first column of the desk. The system suddenly made a sound, shocking Sajari. At this time, Sahu heard the key, and remembered that he had Gabriel's door key. Because Gabriel always closes the door, Sayuchan and Raphael both have her door key. Not to mention, this key was allocated a year ago. If it weren't for the system's guidance, Sajari really couldn't remember it. After all, I am a traverser, so I remember so many memories. Angia Bailey is lying on the ground at this time. The bedroom is extremely dark, only the gaming notebook screen on the ground is shining. In front of the laptop, there is a young girl with long goose yellow hair. She has no trimmings, messy hair, and her curled hair stands upright randomly. She wears a red and white sportswear on her upper body and only a white trousers on her lower body. With a click, Gabriel's door was twisted open, and then the lights came on, illuminating the bedroom. I can only smell all kinds of odors in the bedroom, which are emitted from garbage such as takeout boxes and instant noodle bins after eating. Sajari subconsciously ignored the garbage, because there is something more dazzling than garbage. White little pants. Gabriel, who doesn't wear pants, dangled her two small white legs, covered her eyes with her hands, and looked as though she was dead. Ah, Sajari will turn off the lights. Under the light, Gabriel covered her eyes and turned her back to the sky. A small part of her white trousers were exposed, and most of the rest were looming in the shadow of the light. Sagirichan was originally a girl in appearance and a male inwardly. Now when she sees the trousers, she can't remove her eyes naturally. Turn off the lights. Okay, business matters, so Sajari turned off the lights. There is no way, those little trousers are too dazzling. If you don't turn off the light, Sajari doubts whether she can communicate normally. The world is back to darkness, Gabriel sighed, looking as if she was not sleeping enough, and said in a lazy tone, "Why are you here?" Listening to this underbeating tone, Sajari held back her thoughts and said in a sweet voice, "Draw a picture." Gia Bailey gave someone a treatment, but didn't reply for a long time. The system friendly reminds that the owner needs headphones and microphones to help. The system suddenly appeared and Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com prompted her that her voice was too low. Shahu's complexion was stagnant, and then he realized that when he used to speak with headphones and microphones, he had just passed through, and he hadn't gotten used to it. After a while, Sajari was wearing blue headphones and repeating the last sentence with a blushing face. Hey? Isn't it all right to use cardboard for painting? Gabriel was not convinced. Shahu blushed, angry and playfully saying, "No." Gia Bailey was shocked by the sudden high decibels. Perhaps the acutest lowly temperament played a role. Although she looked unwilling, she still agreed. "I will play with you during the day, so let's talk about it first, and I will have my turn to play when I come back from school." Gia Bailey knew that her sister's computer had burned out, so she guessed that Sajari must have reached a certain level of loneliness, otherwise she would not come to grab the computer to play. As for the reason for painting, she didn't care about it. Sajari heard the words, breathed a sigh of relief, and thought for a moment that he happened to be in the off-semester. This identity is really great. After Saul left, Gabriel murmured to herself, "I don't go to school if I get better. The treatment is too good, right? Should I pretend to be sick and try?" At first, Saul was indeed sick and lying down. This bed lasted for a month. After exhausting all the medical equipment, he couldn't detect the condition, and spent a lot of money. However, the disease did not know how to drip, and he recovered suddenly in the past 2 days. In view of the strange condition of the previous illness, the doctor advised Sajari to rest at home for a week or 2 before reporting to school, so there was a suspension of school. Speaking of which, Gabriel had planned not to go to school, but now that Sajari has done so, she has to go. Forget it, go to school during the day to make up for sleep, and overnight at night. Gabriel sighed and continued to play the game weekly. At 8:30, Gia Bailey hurried out of the house to go to school. Sajari took the opportunity to bring the digital tablet over and connect it directly to the computer. After doing these things, I downloaded Psy and PS and other drawing software from the internet. The total time was only 10 minutes. After logging into the unfamiliar drawing interface, looking at various options, Sajari clearly used it for the first time, but there was an extremely familiar feeling in his mind. It seems that the tablet is oneself, and oneself is the tablet. Full score painting technique not only includes the quality of painting, but also the technique of using computer drawing software. After knowing that he was okay with the software, Sajari picked up the paintbrush and began to practice the character design of Iramanga teacher on the tablet. At this time, the bottom line of the full-scale painting technique was revealed. Sajari found that her hand was very stable, like a sophisticated machine, every line was extremely beautiful, and there was no hand shaking. So perfect! Sajari looked at the heroine's person design, as if the person in the picture was about to come out of the screen, very vivid. Light blue hair, Shui Lingling's big eyes aimed to the upper left, blushing and a little shy, wearing a white shirt, and Mr. printed on the front of the dress. If Gabriel is beside her, she will exclaim, "Isn't this Sister Sajari?" Looking at this cover, the cute style of painting came to your face, directly touching the cute points in your mind, without the muscular style of combat, and the style is very prominent. In this case, it is obviously better to use PS. After all, PS is a professional drawing software with complete functions. An episode of comics generally uses more than 20 pages in length, and Sajari didn't know her painting speed beforehand, and thought she could complete dozens of pages a week. Now I am trying to draw a manga for a day. By 4:30 in the afternoon, I have only drawn 3 pages in total. 3 pages a day, each comic is a wallpaper level, or the kind with colors. Okay, Sajari said that this speed is already her fastest. You must know that the picture with full marks cannot be completed quickly. After all, haste is not enough. Even if the painting skills are superb, there must be some detailed processing procedures. If a cartoonist hears that he completes a 3-page color page by himself in a day, he sighs that he is a little slow, he will definitely vomit blood and die. Is so tentacled. I only learned about the hard work of the cartoonist Sajari now, and I feel ashamed for his naive urges before. It seems that a cartoonist is not easy to do. Without an assistant, it is even more difficult to think about weeks. Now that he recognizes the reality of space, Sajari's first storyline begins to follow the comic version. However, relatively speaking, the picture quality level is still in line with the wallpaper level. Think about Makoto Shinkai in his previous life. Every frame of the screen can be used as a desktop wallpaper, which is nicknamed a madman by fans. In each wallpaper, how many layers and brushes are used, maybe not many people care about it. Sahu still wanted to paint again, but unexpectedly the door creaked. Gia Bailey broke into the door and threw away the school bag violently. Turn on black and turn black, Sajari will get out of the way, I want to play on the computer. With a flick of, Sajari just turned around and saw an unforgettable scene. Saw Gabriel throw away her school bag, while speaking in a rushing tone, while moving her hands together, she blinked at lightning speed and took off her black short-necked stockings, then swiped her right hand and opened the zipper of the miniskirt in a flash. This babble is the sound of black short stockings and a Scottish checkered skirt landing at the same time. Of course, Sajari didn't see the white punk pants. This may be due to the angle problem. The white punk pants were blocked by the school uniform. Sajari was wondering if she would see the squirrel pants next. Gabriel really lived up to her expectations, first took off her school uniform shirt at lightning speed, revealing the white bra and cute squirrel pants. Then she quickly put on the iconic red and white sportswear, pulled the zipper up, and both things were perfectly covered by the sportswear. Well, you don't need to cover up when changing clothes. This is probably the biggest benefit after crossing. Ahem, I suddenly feel that being a girl is pretty good. Saho couldn't help thinking. Hey, is this the heroine you painted? It's so beautiful. Jia Bailey praised it, and then realized something, turning to a shocked expression. Well, isn't this you? How does the title of this book feel a bit Oh, forget it, I'm going to play the game, hurry up and get out of it. Jia Bailey glanced at it, apparently indifferent to her sister's special hobbies. For Gabriel, playing online games is the best compared to Sajari pressed the shortcut to save the draft, then clicked the cross to close the software, and then helped her to open the game, then got up and left. What are we eating today? Sajari thought for a while. In order to repay the benefits of changing clothes brought by Gabriel, it is better to cook a meal to celebrate. Jia Bailey obviously didn't know Sajari's careful thoughts, and said lazily, Today I ate seafood instant noodles. That's not right, I'll know what to eat when Raphael comes back, and what's urgent. Fainted, I opened my mouth and said instant noodles, no wonder it was not big. Shahu held his forehead and took a look at the kitchen, and found that there were not many ingredients in the refrigerator. There were eggs, frozen beef, and other preservation-resistant ingredients, all purchased by Raphael. Raphael is studying at the University of Tokyo, not far from home. It only takes 20 minutes to take a tram, and he usually comes back to cook at night. Because Gabriel is lazy, Sajari is also an otaku, so Raphael has always been the chef. Sajari also knows a little bit of cooking skills. Although not very good, he barely enters it. Took the beef out, Sajari glanced at it, and just wanted to put it in the microwave to thaw. At this moment, the door creaked open, and Raphael, wearing a goose yellow woolen sweater, returned home. Hey, it is not good for Sajari to defrost the beef in the microwave, and the taste will become very bad. Raphael smiled and blinked. Shahu Jiao blushed and put the beef back into the refrigerator. Well, in fact, I'm just a half-hearted culinary girl. Raphael's long white hair hangs upside down like a waterfall. He is 1 meter and 6 meters tall and has a bust of B89. He feels gentle like an angel, but with a magical smile in his gentleness, it makes people especially fascinated. She placed her bag on the sofa, carried the vegetables directly next to the cutting board, and then hugged Sajari with both hands. Without a word, she buried Sajari's head in her chest, and then rubbed her chest against Sajari's face vigorously. Sajari is so cute today. Raphael couldn't help using facial cleanser Dafa to rub Sajari's face, and the latter flushed even more. No matter how she broke free, she couldn't escape Raphael's embrace. I'm going to die. Let go of me. Sajari's voice is very small. Fortunately, I didn't take off the earphones just now. So the sound of Sajari came from the speakers on the second floor. Although it was intermittent, there was a sound after all. Raphael heard her about to die, and then let go of Sajari. But the most adorable Lolita has too strong temperament. It has 300% lethality against Lolita, which makes Raphael unable to stop at all. No, he gently kneaded Sajari's face with both hands. Sayachan is so cute, she can't stop, her face is so soft. In the end, Sajari had to use the close-up anti-wolf technique to break away Raphael's entanglement with skill, and quickly ran upstairs to close the door. Raphael was working all day and was exhausted physically and mentally. Seeing this little cute thing wanting to escape, where could she be spared, he followed upstairs and found that Saho closed the door tightly, and let her shout "Sahu sauce come out soon, it does not work." "Sister, Jia Bailey is also very good at kneading." Sajari's voice came from inside the door. Raphael was shocked when he heard the words. "Yes, there is no Sajari sauce, and there is also a cute Gabriel sauce to knead." It just so happened that the door of Gabriel's room was not closed. Raphael approached quietly, watching the classmate Gabriel with messy hair lying on the ground playing games. His eyes suddenly lit up. "Gabriel sauce is also decadent and cute today." Raphael held Gabriel's head and rubbed it with 2 white rabbits. Jia Bailey was playing a game. Her face was suddenly squeezed by some mysterious object, and she rolled her eyes and resisted. "Don't wash your face. Then put your head on." Raphael moved the white rabbit from the side of his face to Gabriel's head. First blood. The brightness of the computer screen suddenly went dark. "Ah, Raphael, hurry up and go away." Sahu heard Gabriel's weak complaints from the side room, and couldn't help but smile. The manga drawing work proceeded in an orderly manner. The first episode has a total of 31 pages, and it took Sajari 10 days to complete the first episode. Sajari searched for anime websites on the internet, first filtered out those small websites, and then measured them one by one. Sajari, who has a perfect drawing skill, is definitely a fancy manga website in terms of selection. There are currently some paid manga sites on the internet such as Shonen Jump, Shonen Sunday, Shonen Magazine, and Denjiki. These websites are different from publications. They are independent of the publications. The works on the publications will be serialized on the internet, but the comics serialized on the internet may not be serialized on the publications. In other words, the webcomic station is a window where authors can become famous on the internet and be favored by comic magazine editors to serialize them in physical publications. After thinking for a moment, Sajari chose the Electric Shock King. "Why did you choose Denjiki King instead of the hottest boy Jump?" "In fact, this is for a reason. The juvenile Jump is mostly action-adventure, with a fantasy flavor, and Hokage and One Piece are also serialized on it. Their style is extremely obvious, and the cute daily fan is obviously not dominant. The Denjiki King involves campus, fantasy, life, etc., and his published works are mostly animated and gamified, such as The Previous Life, A Certain Scientific Super Electromagnetic Gun, The Fall of Gabriel, and The Excellent Students of Magic College. From here. In addition, the Denjiki King comes from Media Works, and the Denjiki Library of The Previous Life produced Forbidden, Sword Art Online, Shana of Shakugan, Dual Knight, My Sister, Accelerated World, Iramanga Teacher and many other masterpieces. Of course, there is no magic forbidden, and there are no masterpieces such as Sword Art Online and Accelerated World. Even now, Denjiki is still popular with hot blood. Recently, although I tried to get rid of the muscle line wind, the effect is not very significant. Sajari felt a little excited when he thought that these fireworks were not born. Of course, this is just Sajari's fantasy. After all, the road ahead is long and there is a lot of time. And the styles of various comics are different. If you draw all by yourself, it will inevitably be a bit strange, so you need to think carefully about the second book in the future. A few seconds later, Sajari registered a new account, named Ocean, and then logged into the author's background to create a new comic work. Chinese title, Teacher Iramanga. Japanese style book title, Mr. Iramance. After the work is uploaded successfully, the background display is under review. Sajari looked at the lower right corner of the computer desktop, the display time, 1500 hours on May 4, 2017. Also at this time, Sajari's head sank, and there was a burst of young girl's fragrance and Raphael's lovely voice. It turns out that Sajari is secretly drawing a book. Raphael smiled and hugged Sajari with his hands, rubbing his face with a big white rabbit. Xiao Jiao blushed. The upload was just completed, and the author's backstage had not been closed yet, so the name of the work was seen by Raphael. Giabelli knew about Sageri's painting book, and she said that she had no interest. But Raphael was different. She looked for opportunities to find excuses every day to rub the facial cleanser with Sageri. Now that he has caught his handle, it is estimated that he will not even look for a reason in the future. Shahu's cold hair stood up, and when he was about to use some excuse to get past, Raphael spoke. Sagirichan is really getting cute. While was talking, I did another facial cleanser without saying anything. This time I bury my head in it. I'm going to die. In the early morning of the next morning, the editor of the manga reviewing company just went into the backstage to review the new work. Well, there is no serious cross-line content, the number of pages exceeds 8 pages, the plot is original, over review. This one has been reviewed too. Well, this one is fine, it's over. The review editor stared at the screen, held the mug in his left hand, took a sip of milk tea, and clicked the mouse from time to time with the right hand to approve the review. When newcomers upload their works, the review editors often look at whether the quality of the content can be signed, but whether there is any content that is prohibited and irresponsible to the reader. If all the small requirements are met, then the review is over. I watched it for an hour, it's all hot-blooded comics, is there nothing new? The review editor rubbed his eyes. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning and just 1 hour at work. It is reasonable to say that the energy is good, but this job is really tiring. Just review this, and if you look at it too much, it will cause aesthetic fatigue. Well, this muscle line is too explosive, and the scene control is very good. Sometimes when I see a good work, I still have to look at it seriously. After watching it, a few more minutes have passed. Just like that, after a busy morning, it was 11 o'clock. Review an article and then eat. The whole morning looked like a sluggish vegetable. If he hadn't really loved the comics industry, he would have gone to dinner. Click the mouse, and the screen will switch to the next work. Unexpectedly, the editor's hands were stunned, and his eyes were also stunned, and the blue light of the computer was reflected in his eyes. Title of work: Teacher Ira Manga, Author, Ocean. On the cover of is a cute girl with a drooping white shirt and left collar. Her big eyes are like a shy little animal, and her cute blush is just right. With the fine painting style, she explains the kingly theory that cuteness is justice. The editor keeps his eyes on the first page. Widescreen wallpapers come on the first page, generous. Grumbling and rolling of the Adam's apple, this is not only shock, but also excitement. The style of painting that has never been seen before. First of all, the first page is the giant screen wallpaper. Maybe this is a cute new person. If you want to draw the first page as a full screen wallpaper, this is no one. The picture is very detailed, although there is no sense of muscle lines, but the characters are dozens of times more cute than today's big fire comics. The first page of Sageri draws all the characters on stage, with the blue sky in the background. The characters are excited, with different expressions and distinct appearances, creating a daily cute atmosphere from the beginning. Especially the female protagonist, whose looks are astonishing, or so cute that the world explodes, no one can match. From the cover, it can be seen that the heroine's face value is the highest in the audience, and the cuteness brought by the giant screen wallpaper is unparalleled. Every look and every action makes people excited and has a great visual beauty. Just looking at it, the editor fell in love with the heroine. Could it be that love at first sight exists? Teacher Ira Manga, this name is great, and it makes me look forward to what will happen next. Reading countless review editors, who should have been concerned about whether the content is prohibited, have now devoted themselves to the content of the first manga, forgetting about it, and treating themselves as readers. Oh, this opening scene where my sister is shy and showing her face is so cute. Why do I have a sense of virtue? Is it the suggestive effect of the title of the book? Live broadcast? This element is very modern. Do you want to take it off? Reading www.yuyugonshu.com, Don't take it off, go knock on the door and save your sister. Well, my sister opened the door and got a cute face again, just say this, the cute characters are used well, it's too suitable for the situation. When he watched it the second time, he found that the inner dialogue of the hero was very good, and the word cute alone hit the girls' hearts of the majority of otaku crowds. Unknowingly, the review editor saw 11:27, only 3 minutes away from 11:30. Has it been so long? Speaking of just now, my colleague asked me to go to dinner, but I magically refused. He shook his head, smiled and clicked on the word review, and personally manipulated the work, recorded the work in the system library, and let the comics appear on the website. It usually takes about a week for comics to go from review to storage, but manual operation saves this time difference. Unfortunately, I am not the editor in charge, otherwise I will send the signing text message now. After all, he walked downstairs quickly, took out his mobile phone and thought about it, and posted the title of the book to the editorial group, saying that this comic is very beautiful and I recommend everyone to watch it. I can only help you get here, come on. He can see that this manga can become popular. This is not only an innovative work, but the style is also particularly outstanding. The cuteness hits the soul directly and detonates the girl's heart. In the editor group, a message suddenly appeared, indicating that the style of this comic is very cute. I recommend everyone to read it and post the comic's URL. At this time, the editors were eating, just when they were chatting with their phones. Diddy. Xiao Huang recommends a new comic again. Hey, the title of this book is a bit H. Is it Xiao Huang man? A young female editor who eats chicken legs asked. Beauty editor Xiao Man just finished eating a big chicken leg, and washed his hands by the way, then took out his mobile phone and clicked on the website posted by Xiao Huang. She is slender, wearing a cylindrical OL outfit, wearing a black frame, holding a straw in her left hand to shake the coffee in the cup, and staring at the screen motionlessly, or it is more appropriate to keep her eyes fixed. During the whole process, only the right hand swiped the phone and the left hand stirred the coffee. The rest of the body was frozen in the previous minute. Hey, why don't you update it next time? Xiao Man looked unlovable, flicking his finger to the right to turn the page, but he didn't turn to anything. Then she watched it again from the beginning, and after seeing it, she still didn't quite feel it. She fell into the deadly cute spot of saguri sauce. Sayachan is so cute, saying that this book has just been released today, is this asking me to chase it harder? Xiao Man watched it for a long time, only to realize that this comic was only put into the library today, and it was extremely fresh. And I also found the feeling I had when I read the comics, like seeing my first love. I can't wait to watch JoJo chase it more, especially the moment my sister opened the door. The editor Xiao Man couldn't wait to read it. Looking at the editorial team, some editors praised the work and threatened to sign it under their own name, while some editors who are accustomed to mainstream style think the quality of the work is acceptable, but the commercial value still needs to be evaluated. Xiao Man is not happy when he hears this. What is the commercial value to be evaluated? Is the future market bound to be a hot-blooded world? Impossible. The contending of 100 schools of thought is the vision of the future. Now it is hard to come up with a work with a fresh and surprising style. How can I judge a new genre with current eyes? Some editors didn't plan to read it, but after seeing someone discussing this comic, they subconsciously clicked in. They were immediately attracted by the style of the work and joined the torrent of discussions. After a full quarter of an hour, the enthusiasm for the discussion has gradually cooled down. After all, this work has only come out and there is not much room for discussion, but most of the editors are optimistic about this work. Against this background, Sajiri ushered in her life's first signing contract. And Sa Jiang herself didn't know about it, she was drawing the second episode in the room. When Jia Bailey got home, she took her clothes and prepared to go to the bathroom to take a shower. Speaking of bathing, this is the biggest daily benefit. As the saying goes, one must be happy in life, and become a cute girl, so naturally you can't just look at it. So every time I take a bath, Sajari is the one who washes for the longest time. As for why it takes so long to wash, I must know all the old drivers. At this time in the past, Raphael had just returned home to cook, Gabriel was busy playing the game Krypton, and everyone had something to do. So Sahu took a bath every day for 20 minutes, and it would not cause them special note. However, Sajari still underestimated Raphael's attention to herself. Perhaps it is the passive talent of the most adorable lowly temperament at work. The previous Sayachan was not cute enough to explode, but since Sayachan walked out of the room 11 days ago, Raphael has been affected by Sayachan. The cute temperament is deeply attracted. If you don't rub Sajari sauce for a day, Raphael will feel uncomfortable. This feeling is very strange, but Raphael didn't think much about it, but subconsciously thought that his sister should be so cute. In the past, Sayachan was a super dead house, almost staying at home. Even when eating, Raphael had to deliver food to the door before he started talking. Sajari has become more cute after a serious illness, is this my illusion? Raphael, who just finished scouring the white rice, was thinking about the changes in Sajari over the past few days. Those soft bangs, cute water blue eyes, thin lips and white teeth, skin softer than Gabriel, the whole person is so soft as if made of a ball of water, more comfortable than a pillow. At this time, there was a splash of water from the bathroom, humming, sometimes and not, teasing Raphael's mind. While listening to the sound of Sajari taking a bath, Raphael blushed and cut vegetables quickly. The chopping sound of da-da-da-do was almost continuous, trying to cover up the sound of bathing with the sound of cutting vegetables. However, the cuteness brought by Sagumi sauce is too terrifying. Raphael just stood in the kitchen listening to the sound of the running water and felt hot all over, wishing to break into the bathroom and take a bath together. Or I will take a bath too, everyone is a girl, there is no taboo. This idea has been around for a long time, but Raphael has been restraining and sticking to his bottom line of life. It's okay to molest Sajari, as long as you master the degree, you can make life more enjoyable. But once you flirt, the relationship becomes a bit stiff. I'm a elder sister, it should be no problem to go in and help take a shower, it's a happy decision. Raphael couldn't help it anymore, and finally found a reason to convince himself, immediately wash his hands quickly, and walked closer to the bathroom door. There was a slight click, and the bathroom door was not locked. Raphael's eyes were happy, and there was a strange feeling in his heart. The sound of water was gurgling, covering up the sound of opening the door. Shagiri Sauce just finished the trembling thing, while humming Bilibili's 2017 theme song interwoven together, while washing his body. Just listened to a brisk tune, and Sagiri sang in her sweet voice, cheering under the shadow of the tree, spinning under the street lamp. In an empty room with no one and Dengyiing company. With arms open and stretched, it freezes the perfect picture. Render with a smiley face. Flashes and changes every time I jump. Gorgeous cheer light stick connection. Weave our warp and weft threads. Every time they look at each other, they are far apart. Every action overlaps with you. Reach out with your fingertips and tap the play button. An invitation from the other side of the world. See it all. In his previous life, Sajari often went to Station B. When he was bored, he would sing live and sing live. At first, the tone was not complete, but now he sings well, so when Sagiri sang to herself, Raphael's figure suddenly stopped. Live. She listened to the sweet voice of Seguro-chan, and somehow it dripped. Seguro clearly did not sing as much as the anchors, but the singing was as beautiful as a lark, which moved her girl's heart to tremble, unconsciously following the beat. It was this beat that alarmed the little cute things inside. Who? Behind the curtain, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com was blinded by light and shadow, and the 1 meter around 5 meters Sayachan saw the figure of a young girl across the curtain, and breathed a sigh of relief. I thought there was an invasion by a big bad wolf. It turned out that Raphael was eavesdropping. Sayachan, I'll help you rub your back. Hearing the rustling sound, watching the shadow of the clothes outside the curtain being thrown away one by one, Sahu's face instantly reddened into a big apple. Shahu was sweating profusely. Is this the ultimate welfare coming? But she is not ready yet, she has never bathed with a girl, this will be very embarrassing, and it is also very easy to show off. Just imagine, always staring at a certain part of someone else, will it be considered abnormal by Raphael? Ah, I'll finish the wash right away, wait a moment. It's a pity that Saguri's voice is too low. Raphael moved quickly, and immediately said, Saguri, I'm here. Raphael, with long white hair like a waterfall, opened the curtain, and when he saw the lovely Saguri sauce, he immediately came to a facial cleanser. The white-haired angel is so beautiful. Okay, Saguri, who was feasting his eyes, had a nosebleed after seeing it. It may also be the reason for the weak endurance of this body. After this moment, Saguri closed her eyes and fainted with happiness. Sayachan. Raphael found a ray of redness on the ground, and when she loosened the shahu sauce, she found that she had fainted and her nose was bleeding wildly. Sayachan has a nosebleed, what should I do? By the way, look up and apply ice. Raphael was anxious like a hot pot ant. Afterwards, I felt a lingering fear in retrospect. After that, Raphael didn't dare to assault the bathroom for fear that Saguri would die from a nosebleed. After a bathroom assault, the benefits of shared bathing had to come to an end. When Sayachan was in a coma, Denjiki Wangman Station was surging underneath. On May 5, 2017, Teacher Iramanga was serialized for 1 hour, with 54 hits, 254 recommended votes, and 54 favorites. Was serialized for 2 hours, with 196 hits, 521 recommended votes, and 196 favorites. 3 hours of serialization, 369 hits, 935 recommended votes, and 369 favorites. Has been serialized for 4 hours, the number of hits is 540, the number of recommended votes is 1467, and the number of favorites is 540. 5 hours of serialization, 666 hits, 1795 recommended votes, 666 favorites. When Iramanga Teacher was serialized for 5 hours, it was already 4:30 in the afternoon, which happened to be the time when Saguri feasted and passed out. Ding! The number of fans is 701, the novice mission has been completed, and the reward is given, close-up anti-wolf technique +1. The voice of the system echoed in Saguri's mind. It's a pity that Saguro-chan really passed out, and she couldn't know the news for the first time. Probably it was a lot of physical energy spent in the bathroom, and the body was already weak. After feasting on the eyes, the body's ability to withstand was close to the limit, and the blood went straight to the forehead, so I passed out in a coma. When Saho was in a coma, editor Xiao Man stared at the screen in the website editorial department of Diane Shock King's company, his eyes gleaming. Little man, what's so happy? Look at the cartoon of Teacher Ocean. It's only 5 hours since it came out. The number of clicks reached 666, and the recommended vote is 1795. Xiao Man wears black-rimmed glasses and lifts her right hand slightly, indicating that her heart is extremely restless. What about this? This is very few clicks. If it is a new comic of the Great God, it will be no problem to click through 10,000 in 5 hours. Xiaoman's colleague is a male compatriot. He took leave of absence yesterday and didn't start working until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so he didn't pay attention to the hot topics in the editorial group. Speaking of the news of the editorial group, sometimes it reaches the level of 999 plus. After seeing so many news, Jun Qingshi didn't check it word by word at all, so he didn't know this cute cartoon. Now he followed the gaze of editor Xiao Man, and first saw the super cute the cover, wearing a white shirt embroidered with Mr. Iramans, with cute water blue eyes staring at the upper left, a pair of shyness the look to be put. Okay, so cute. Kingshi editor June couldn't even speak. He wanted to say the word cute, but found that this girl is more cute than the word cute, but he couldn't find a better word than cute, so his tone of voice paused for a while. Xiao Man looked proud, the slender legs in the cylinder moved quietly, erected Erlang's legs, and hummed, "It should be cute. Super cute. King Shijun, your vocabulary is too poor, you can't even think of cute characters." Mo. At this time, the word mo still stays on the original meaning, and does not extend to ACGN culture. King Shijun looked confused, and then recalled the Chinese dictionary, and suddenly he opened up. Menzi originally refers to the first buds of plants and trees, and the new buds represent elements such as freshness, vigorousness, and extreme tenderness. As for the internet's talk of the previous life men changed from burn, it hasn't appeared yet. Yes, the cute character fits the characteristics of the heroine. The skin is new and tender and white, just like a new bud, representing infinite beauty. King Shijun said. It's more than just a fresh and tender skin. The painting skills of the ocean teacher are more than that. If you look at the cover 10 times, you will find that the heroine's eyes, corners of the mouth, eyebrows, hair, clavicle, and other parts are all cute. Attributes. Okay, Xiaoman editor has completely become a fan of Yang teacher. This speech has an extremely fanatical tone, like a Fu Jiachen, exposing all the details of the comics of Iramanga teacher. It seems that it is uncomfortable not to share. King Shijun heard the words and immediately corrected his attitude, his eyes were straight, and he was in awe, and no longer looked at the ocean teacher with the eyes of a newcomer. Xiao Manzang is so optimistic about this comic, did you bring it out, Mr. Ocean? Jun Kingshi clicked in to read the comic, and asked as he read it. Don't say that, I did not bring Teacher Ocean, this Ocean is definitely a newcomer, because no editor in the editorial group knows him, so the possibility that he is the great god Vest is ruled out. When Xiao Man speculated, he subconsciously thought of Teacher Ocean as a boy. Bluestone June absent-mindedly nodded his head, his eyes were bright when he read it. It can be seen that this manga is so charming that he sinks into it and is unable to extricate himself from it. He didn't even listen to Xiao Man's editing words carefully. The most important thing is that the ocean teacher clicked 666, and collected exactly 666. This shows what? The collection rate is 100%. Everyone who clicks on the comic has collected this comic. Xiao Man's eyes are bright to the extreme, the eyes lit up. You have to know that this comic has not been formally signed, and without a promotion recommendation position, the Wild Long, the data has reached an astonishing percentage of collections. Do you know what this means? Okay, very good. King Shijun subconsciously nodded, but in fact, his eyes have been staring at the screen and he can't look away. Not for a moment. Shahu sauce is so cute, I really don't want to look away from Xiao Man's editor. Although Xiao Man editor is a long-legged beauty, the cylindrical OL outfit is rugged, rough, and looks good, but she is not cute. Mo, that is justice. Xiao Man wanted to go on, but saw Jun Kingshi devoted himself to the comics, and always followed her. The heat is almost there. Xiao Man said in his heart that the plan was successful, and no matter what she said, Mr. Kingshi would agree. She smiled slightly, showing a meaningful smile, quietly took out her phone to turn on the recording mode, and then slowly said, "The Bluestone Lord, the manga of the ocean teacher is too talented to be placed in the harem category, so it is better to put it in the life category, what do you think?" Well, listen to you. King Shijun subconsciously nodded, his eyes still fixed on the computer screen. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com never expected that Xiao Manzang would cheat him. So the ocean teacher is under my control. Okay, no problem. King Shijun just finished speaking, and immediately realized something, and then looked shocked and unsure. What did you say just now? The ocean teacher is yours. Yes, you have agreed, but you can't go back. The life department is a category that came out the year before, and it is now in a booming period. The editor-in-chief expressed at the conference that he would strongly support life-related works in order to innovate and break the enthusiasm. Dominant, it's not wrong for Mr. Hyang's work to be classified in the Department of Life. Xiao Man smiled, and even the editor-in-chief moved out in order to get the ocean teacher. Speaking of which, Mr. Bluestone is in charge of the harem comics, and Mr. Ocean happened to fill in the classification as the harem category, so Mr. Bluestone should be the editor in charge. Bluestone has been in the workplace for many years, and he smelled an unusual smell in an instant. Maybe this is the meaning of the editor-in-chief, or it may be the unilateral meaning of the beauty editor. Please, Mr. Kingshi, let me be the teacher of the ocean, and I will ask you to have self-service barbecue another day. The beauty editor Xiao Man was pleading. Okay, a big beauty pleaded with him, not to mention how beautiful this picture is. I saw King Shi Junho's body shake, and his brain suddenly became hot and said, okay. Xiao Man put his hands together and thanked excitedly, thank you so much, Mr. Kingshi, I will definitely pay back this kindness. Farewell, it's just a matter of effort, isn't there an old saying in Duoxia, gentlemen have the beauty of adults. Mr. Kingshi is very caring. Xiao Man praised, and cast a wink. This set is still very useful to men. No, King Shijun scratched his head with joy, his face seemed to be blooming. After discussing with Mr. Kingshi, Xiao Man logged into the backstage and changed the short assignment of Ocean Teacher's contract station to Xiao Man. After finishing this step, adjust Iramanga Teacher into the category of Life Department. Life category, don't look at these three characters, which are slightly ordinary compared to passionate fantasy. In fact, nowadays, passionate blood is in power for more than 10 years. Some old readers are a little desensitized to general pretending to be slapped or even fighting, so the life category will suddenly emerge and sweep away the fatigue caused by violent aesthetics. Xiaoman always believes that with time, daily animations such as the life department will become more and more, until it becomes a well-known sign of Denjiki. Teacher Hai, hurry up, if you don't sign a contract, this promotion recommendation will not be posted. Xiaoman is in charge of the 4 categories of Campus, Lily, Love, and Life. There were so many things at first, but now he puts down his work, stares at the QQ in a daze, and waits for Hyang Teacher's additional Q message. No way, the charm of Saguri sauce is too great, Xiao Man is for the sake of readers, if you can add Q as soon as possible, you can urge it to change. After more than 10 minutes, Mr. Kingshi next to him gently stabbed the absent-minded Xiao Man editor with his elbow. What's wrong with Xiao Man Zhang, is there anything on your mind? King Shijun consoled her with a caring look. No, nothing, thank you King Shijun for your concern. Xiao Man shook his head, smiled and started to work hard. Until the end of get off work at 5 p.m., Xiao Man still did not receive the catting message from Teacher Ocean. Don't you want to call Master Ocean to shock the king to sign the contract? Xiao Man's heart slammed, and secretly said that it is possible. Think about it, the ocean teacher with such a great style of painting is a favorite no matter where he goes. As everyone knows, Sayachan was in a coma for more than an hour, unable to respond to Xiao Man's editor's enthusiasm. By the way, there is his information in the background, I can call it. After the words were over, Xiao Man logged into the background and secretly wrote down the QQ number of Teacher Ocean. It was also when inquiring, that Xiao Man discovered that the so-called ocean teacher was not a boy, but a girl. In the author information, the author's gender is displayed, female. Teacher Ocean is actually a girl. Xiao Man's eyes were sharp. Anyone who is a sister author can add points to the popularity of the work. If the ocean teacher is a beautiful girl, that would be even better. You can become a popular manga artist only after packaging. If the beauty breaks through the sky, coupled with the superb picture quality, becoming a super popular cartoonist is just around the corner. Popular cartoonist, well known in China, but not well known abroad. The super popular cartoonists are superstars all over the world. Their works are often sold in China, Britain, the United States, Russia, Australia, Canada, Southeast Asia, and other countries. It's a pity that there is no author's ID information in the editing background, otherwise Xiao Manzang will be able to see the truth. When the editor Sang wanted to add Q to remind the update, the book review area of Iramanga Teacher was already boiling, and countless readers' reminders were flying all over the sky. My big stick is already hungry and thirsty, I beg Yang Teacher to update it. Reader ID I'll persuade you if I'm not convinced said. The upstairs is thick, Sa Jiang is my wife, no one wants to own it. Readers of ID Sa Jiang is my wife read his ID and know that this was changed temporarily this afternoon. This manga is great, please treat me, I hope it will be more exciting. Readers of ID Y Ramanga Teacher ID is registered are rewarded with 1,000 yen. The sky is falling in a mess, and I am so touched. The gentleman deserves this reward. Readers of ID Sahu Sauce is my wife give a reward of 10,000 yen. The same guarantees that as long as it is updated tomorrow, the reward is 10,000 yen. Arrived. There are also various readers who gave a reward of 1 to 200 yen, and they all said, I want to add more, or I will send the blade. In addition to reminders, there are various readers in the book review area who discuss painting styles, expressing that they are in love and fell in love with Sagiri at first sight, and the heroines who read other comics no longer have the feeling of heartbeat. It's over, I read Sagiri-chan, then read other comics, how can I read it anymore? Suddenly I found that other comics were tasteless, and I had to go back and look at Sagiri-chan 10 times. There are too few upstairs, I have watched it 99 times. PR. Today is the second day of the official serialization of Teacher Iramanga, which is 11:01 am on May 6, 2017. In a room full of Billy small TV dolls and 2,233 figures, the air conditioner was muffled and there was the tapping sound of the keyboard and mouse. Shaho covered the small TV quilt, closed his eyes and fell asleep quietly, breathing smoothly. At this time, Sagiri felt that the coldness on her forehead suddenly became a little less, but it didn't take long for her forehead to become cold again and heavier. It is exactly this kind of changes that alternately appeared, and Sagiri's consciousness slowly woke up from his deep sleep. Name, Izumi Sagiri. Fan value, 1017. Active talent, full score drawing technique. Close Wolves defense. LV2 passive talent, the most adorable lowly temperament. The sound is soft and the body is soft and can be pushed down after waking up. Sagiri first glanced at the system information in his head and found that his novice mission had been completed, and his fan value reached 1017. Looking at the active talent list again, Sagiri's melee wolf defense technique has been selected to LV2 level, and the object of guarding has changed from the original Big Bad Wolf to Super Big Bad Wolf. Click and click, the sound of typing on the keyboard was extremely slight. Sagiri opened her eyelids subconsciously. She first saw a group of ice packs pressed against her forehead, and then noticed the dim light in the bedroom. She looked sideways and found the curtain it's all full. At this time, the only light source in the bedroom was the laptop on the floor. In front of the computer was a girl with long yellow hair and internet addiction. Her hair was messy, her hair turned up, her bare white legs swayed randomly, and she was black. Playing games with eye circles, Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com clicks the mouse from time to time with his right hand. Isn't this Gabriel? Why did you play in your own room? Shahu took away the ice pack. The slight voice was very obvious in the quiet space. Gabriel reacted almost instantly, staring at Shahu with dark circles for a long while. Then she made a haha, looked sleepy, closed her laptop and got up, and walked out without saying a word. Ah! Sagumi wanted to ask her what to order, but when she saw her panda-like face, she swallowed it to her lips. Is clearly a sign of a severe overnight stay. Now I took out my phone and took a look at it. It was 11 o'clock in the morning on May 6th, no wonder it was so serious. Do you need to come to me to play on the computer? Saguri was very speechless. Is it possible that Gabriel is also a loli who can't control it? Ahem, forgive me for the system's bluntness, Jia Bailey is here to take care of you, and that ice pack is the evidence. The mentally retarded system suddenly made a sound, changing Jia Bailey's ice pack regularly while playing on the computer. Take a snapshot of the screen. And Jia Bailey saw Sahu wake up, and left without saying anything. This is obviously a manifestation of deep concealment of merit and fame. For a long time, Sahu's eyes were a little moist, but Gabriel never expected Gabriel to be so sweet. Saguri's bedside, the phone lights up on the screen, and it says, "Help me soak a bowl of instant noodles, want seafood flavor, wash it in 100 degrees Celsius boiling water, then soak for another 8 minutes, put 2/3 of the seasoning bag, no thanks." Jia Bailey QQ said. Okay, Saguri's eyes are dry again. Speaking of Gabriel, besides being decadent and cute, it also has the attribute of black abdomen. Although it sometimes has a kind heart attack, it is usually in a state of black abdomen and laziness. Ignoring Gabriel's request for instant noodles, Saguri picked up the phone and ordered 2 takeaways. After a while, Saguri noticed that a girl in QQ wanted to add her QQ, indicating that she was the editor of Xiaoman. Strange, I didn't instigate the editor, is this person a liar? I still refuse it. Saguri did not apply for a contract. She just woke up, subconsciously not trusting strangers. The next moment, Saguri clicked manually and refused. On the other side, Xiao Manzang, who had just got off work, saw this rejection message and couldn't even eat lunch, with a worried expression on his face. Taking advantage of the time before the takeout, Saguri picked up her mobile phone to log into the Dian Shok King Wang manga station, searched for her book title, and saw the familiar two-dimensional Windchigward and the number marked on the back. Hits, 3097, recommended votes, 4190, favorites, 1017. This has only been serialized for 1 day, how come the number of collections has broken through the 1000 mark? The system tells me what happened recently. Saguri looked surprised, looking at the number of clicks a little stunned. If I remember correctly, she hasn't signed a contract yet. It stands to reason that a comic book that has not been signed is no different from an ordinary stone in a dark corner. The owner does not need to question the system, the owner's fan value is personally responsible for the system, which uses a high-dimensional downward survey technology, which is absolutely true and reliable. Sha Jiang will be suspicious, until the system releases a follow-up investigation report, and then believes him a little bit. The system said that at first there were only 18 readers. At first, they searched for food in the harem comic area. Unexpectedly, they saw a shirt embroidered with a super cute girl Mr. Iramans, so she went into the pit. After entering the pit, word of mouth is overwhelming, making people remember and dream, so the 18 readers spread this unstoppable pain to the good friends around them. As the so-called 1 pass 10, 10 pass 100, 100 pass 1000, through QQ, Weibo, Twitter, Facebook and other channels, Iramanga teacher broke the 1000 mark without signing a contract. Shahu Sauce nodded slightly, and the soft light blue bangs shook along with it. The cute eyes refocused on the phone screen, and the small right hand gently swiped down to the hot book review area. Well, I was drawing a book of comics, and suddenly someone said I was on fire. At that time, I was confused and didn't know what was going on. Now that I was in the pit, I didn't dare to look at my mistress's design. Woo! Idea manga teacher manga author suddenly popped out, saying that his work could no longer stand. Upstairs blasting the sky, if you don't accept it, you will accept this ID. Readers of ID, if you don't accept it, you will take the second floor. 101st floor ID. Why is teacher Iramanga's ID registered? The reader left a message, so the ID was registered by you. 666. This topic is the number 1 hot review in the book review area, with up to 999 replied messages. The popularity made Sagiri stun her tongue. It turns out that the ID of Mr. Iramanga was registered by the manga author. Sagiri searched Iramanga's work, and found that his work was not a comic like My Girl. The theme is to directly explode and start the war. The plot content accounts for 1/10, and the remaining 9/10 are all battle scenes. A quick glance at the first episode, Sagiri found that his heroine is not unsightly, but compared to Sagiri's works, this style of painting is really a bit rough and fails to bring out the charm of women's curves. It only took a minute to read the first episode. Sagiri had no expression on her face and no fluctuations in her heart, so she didn't plan to read it again. For Sagiri, who is accustomed to seeing the exquisite painting style of the past life, this picture is really spicy, and it doesn't get hot at all. His gaze returned to the book review area, and Sagiri subconsciously skipped the comments of Remind Update and Send the Blade, and focused on some topics discussing the plot. Speaking of the first episode, there is no plot content. Selling cuteness is the most important core. So Sagiri found that most of the comments discussing the plot are predicting what will happen in the next episode. For example, the next story will happen if the sister opens the door to let the brother in, or is stupidly rejected next, or directly fights for 300 rounds without breathing. Okay, Sagiri said that he couldn't stand it anymore. What is the direct war for 300 rounds without breathing? Do you think this comic is really a meaty comic? I knew that, I shouldn't put this comic in the harem category. Ahem, the system friendly reminds that the category of this comic has been transferred from the harem category to the life category. The friendship system bubbled up again, showing his sense of existence. Shaojiang was too lazy to respond to this mentally retarded system, manually pulled down the page, and saw that his classification was impressively written with 2 words life. Changed? When did it happen? Why didn't I know? Sagiri whispered. The system snorted, but without telling her, she still slapped an expression in Sagiri's mind, with "come and beg me" written on her face. Facing the sudden onset of Sundara's disease, Sagiri rolled her eyes and didn't intend to attack him at all. Scroll down again, and you will see a lot of rewards, ranging from 10,000 yen to more than 2,000 yen. Most readers directly reward 1 or 200 yen. Speaking of rewards, Sagiri remembers that she has not signed a contract yet. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. If you don't sign a contract, the money will not be credited to your account. In order to get his own money, Shaojiang quickly logged into the author's backstage, but unexpectedly, there were already edited messages in the backstage SMS box. Gossauce quickly browsed again, a total of 3 pieces of information. The first message read, the classification of the work Iramanga teacher moved from the harem area to the life category. If you have any objections, please add the editor QQ feedback, and editor Zioman QQ. Second message, hello, your work teacher Iramanga has the qualifications to sign, the editor in charge of Zioman QQ. The third message is the QQ of the contract editor. This is the editor responsible for the contract. Shaojiang saw that he had successfully signed the contract, and was naturally happy, so he asked the system to memorize these 2 QQ accounts, and then asked him to project the QQ account into his mind. After a long time, Sayachan logged into the QQ number, entered the QQ number projected by the system, and then looked at the familiar QQ avatar, and felt a little frustrated. Isn't this the QQ account that she rejected a few minutes ago? At this time, Sagiri felt a kind of accidentally doing something wrong in her heart. It took a second for Gossauce to regret, and then sent a request to add friends. If you don't add it, forget it. I'll post it to another animation website. Sagiri Sauce doesn't care, anyway, the quality of this comic is here, no matter where it goes, it is a potential seed, and it is destined to be sought after by the majority of readers. At this time, the phone rang, and Sagiri looked down, and it turned out that it was a takeaway. Sent one of them to Gabriel's house, and took a glance at Gabriel's white trousers, and then returned to his house after feasting his eyes. At 11:15 noon, Xiao Manzang's eyes were dumb, watching the steak in front of the dinner table indifferently. In front of the dinner table, there was a black-haired man in a suit. His appearance was not high and he had a passer-by face. It seemed that he had seen too much of the harem. Even if he wore a formal suit, he did not conceal the masculine temperament of the house. He saw the big woman with black-rimmed glasses staring at the steak for a long time, but could not eat it. He thought she was sick, so he gave a caring look and asked, "What's wrong with Xiao Manzang?" "It's nothing, but the ocean teacher rejected me. It seems that she hates me because of the classification transfer problem." Xiao Man sighed deeply. Wearing a white collar and black tube OL costume, she was supposed to be beautiful and picturesque, but she felt like an old vine withered. King Shijun heard this and immediately understood what was going on. Yesterday, editor Xiao Man asked him for someone, and by the way transferred the classification to the Department of Life, but now that teacher Ocean has rejected her, it seems that he has hoped to train him. Wait, the editor just said Xiao Man said she instead of he, could it be said that the teacher of the ocean is actually a female? The phone screen edited by Xiaoman lights up, and a friend request appears. Little Manzang, don't worry, maybe the ocean teacher accidentally made a mistake. King Shikan wanted to ask if Mr. Hyang was a girl, but seeing her sad look, he didn't want to bother, so the words became comforting. Xiao Man nodded silently, while moving his eyes slightly, he saw that the bright screen mobile phone had an additional request message to add a friend. Maybe it's Mr. Ha's message? Holding this unreliable illusion, Xiao Manzang gently turned on his mobile QQ, then his right hand trembled and saw something incredible. This queue number is exactly the queue number that was memorized yesterday. What's wrong, Xiao Manzang? Teacher Ocean added me. I turned out to be so cheap that I refused, but now I am added again. Xiao Man smiled, and turned his phone to show Mr. Kingshi. I only saw the first message, which read, "Sorry, Xiao Manzang, it's a bit wrong, please forgive me." Okay, King Shikan's dream of teaching has been shattered again. Ah, is teacher Hyang a female? Yes, I don't know what Mr. Ocean looks like. Let me ask. Sagiri looked at the message on the phone with a dazed expression. On the phone, the editor Xiao Man first posted a sulking expression on the proud girl, and then sent a paragraph, writing, "Xiao Man is very angry and needs a selfie from the ocean teacher to touch his head." This is not over yet, the next expression is to roll around coquettishly for comfort. The cute expression hit Sagiri's guilt, so he made a extremely sorry expression, and then said, "Ah, I just woke up, please wait for me to prepare before taking a selfie, okay?" Since the other party is a girl, Sagiri said without thinking that much. Unexpectedly, when the voice came out, Xiao Manzang's blood boiled over. This voice is so soft and cute. Xiao Manzang listened to the sweet sound of Sahu's sauce, as if the whole person was about to melt, and could not wait to turn into a ball of water to wrap the Sahu sauce layer by layer. Mr. Kingshi didn't know what Xiao Manzang had talked about. Even when Teacher Ocean spoke, Xiao Manzang was listening with headphones, so Mr. Kingshi wanted to complain but didn't dare to complain, for fear that Xiao Man would be broken. Sang's interest. It seems that Mr. Hyang's voice is very cute. King Shijun secretly murmured in his heart. On the other side, Sagiri decided to make up for her fault, so she opened the wardrobe she hadn't seen for a long time. Speaking of Sagiri's wardrobe, it is in black and white line style. If you look closely, you will find that the cabinet is also in the style of a small TV at Station B. B Station is not the most popular website in the world, but it is the largest website in ACGN culture. Its popularity is not only in China, but also has many fans in foreign countries. My God, was Sa Jiang used to be a fan of the B Station? Even the inside of the closet is a small TV mural. These murals were previously painted by myself with brushes. Since the small TV is not difficult to draw, the basic painting skills can also be painted very cute. It turns out that the previous introductory painting skills came from this way. Sajari glanced at the small TV mural in the closet, then moved his eyes to the dozen or so clothes in the closet. Saguri has a lot of clothes, more than 10 tops, 12 miniskirts, 12 leggings, 10 black and white stockings, 10 pairs of socks, 2 pink pajamas suits, 1 plaid pajamas, and 2 high school uniforms. Sets, 2 sets of JK uniforms, and 1 cyan coat. Wait, why are there 12 miniskirts, and besides 2 pink pajamas, she has no other pants? No. Sajari looked around and found nothing such as denim trousers and sweatpants. When I searched for the third time, I found that there were 2 denim hot pants in the dark room on the bottom floor. I picked them up and looked at them. They were pitifully short. Ahem, the system kindly reminds me that these 2 jeans were worn in junior high school. The sound of the system's lack of beating again sounded. Sajari let it shut up first, then put away the hot pants, and looked at the newly bought JK uniform. More than 30,000 yen, I only bought 2 sets of JK uniforms, one is Kanamai brand, and the other is East Boy brand. Both uniforms are very good. As for the brand or something, Sajari doesn't bother to remember it. It is simply distinguished by the placket of the JK uniform. The Kanamai brand is a canto-breasted JK uniform. The shirt is white and has no wrinkles. The bow is red and white. The outside is covered with a warm yellow cardigan sweater. The lower body is a sky blue and white mesh miniskirt. The Kansai collared JK uniform is a sailor suit with a slightly longer collar, a long and wide breastplate, and a red and black mesh miniskirt underneath. Sagirichan looked at each other, hesitated for a minute, and chose Kanto knit. Rustling changing clothes, Sajari took off her pink pajamas, and put on a Kanto JK uniform. A shirt and a cardigan sweater. Although it is May and the weather is slightly hot, the air conditioner is turned on in the room, so it won't be too hot to wear too. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. Next it was her turn to wear a skirt. Saguri blushed and pulled up the side zipper, and she wore a sky blue miniskirt like this. While wearing on her body, she felt a chill in her lower body. Shaul looked in the mirror. The sweater is fluffy and cute, and the absolute area under the skirt is very attractive. The whole person looks very cute and beautiful, but she always feels that something is missing. What is missing? Stockings. No wonder she feels cold and swish in her legs, it must be because she is not wearing stockings. Sagumishan took out 2 white long knee stockings with a flushed face, her face changed, and a fierce ideological battle between heaven and man was going on in her mind. Put it on, and I feel a little less disciplined. But don't wear it, and feel cold in the lower body, insecure. Finally, Saguri put on her stockings. When the stockings were put on her legs little by little, Saguri felt a thin layer of warmth and security in her legs. Put on the small leather shoes, take a breath, and Saguri patted her face. From then on, she lost all her exercises. If she wears it again, there should be no psychological burden. At this time, Saguri was sitting on the dressing table and picked up the comb to comb her long hair. The hair is very soft. When I touch it, I feel the hair I grabbed from my hand like a clear spring, flowing from my fingertips, very soft and supple. After a while, 2 pink bows were tied to the temples on the chest, and then 1 on each side of the head. When she felt that she was too beautiful, Saguro-chan picked up her mobile phone to take pictures regularly, put on a scissor hand, her cute aqua blue eyes flashed, her soft bangs just covered her eyebrows, Her blushing face wanted to refuse. 3 seconds later, with a click, the cutest JK uniform girl in history was born. Click. 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 Sagirichan took a few photos in a row and picked the best selfie. At this time, I logged into QQ and found that it was 11:40 noon, which means that it took nearly 25 minutes for Sagiri to complete her self-portrait. Okay, she doesn't know how time passed. Now she hasn't even eaten lunch. She just ate 2 bites and received a reply from Xiao Man's editor. After taking a selfie, the meal was cold again. At this time, the editor of Xiao Man was holding a piece of roasted meat into his mouth, and the juice overflowed with a light bite. The screen of the phone was slightly bright, and Xiao Man's eyes lit up. He swallowed a piece of beef in a hurry, then unlocked with his fingerprint, and clicked into the QQ chat interface. Is the ocean teacher's selfie here? Can Xiao Manzang show it to me? King Shijun showed hope while helping to barbecue. No way, Mr. Kingshi. Xiaoman protects the phone and will never let the Bluestone Man succeed. Sa Jiang hasn't posted any photos yet, because she is asking Xiaoman editor if she accepts flash photos. Of course, Xiao Manzang would not agree to her. Flashing photos or something can only be seen but not saved, too bad. Although I don't know what the face of the ocean teacher is, after hearing the cute voice, Xiao Man has a hunch, thinking that the ocean teacher must be a cute girl. Can't you really discuss it? Sayachan didn't give up, and his selfies were so cute that they didn't want to send them out. After a few minutes, Sagiri threatened her with the reason of quitting. Xiao Manzang had to agree. Isn't it just a selfie? Is it necessary to be so shy? Xiao Manzang didn't care. In her opinion, all well-known cartoonists would meet sooner or later. Although Mr. Yang didn't have the fire and electric shock king, but the potential is boundless, sooner or later he will take off. The next moment, when Xiao Manzang saw the flashing picture, his eyes suddenly lighted up, and he understood why Sagiri didn't let go. Mo, it's so cute. Xiao Man's mouth opened into an O shape, and his eyes tightly grasped the phone for fear that the picture would disappear. That light blue long hair, aqua blue eyes, soft bangs covering the eyebrows, a pure face as white as a baby, warm yellow cardigan sweater, exquisite blue and white guandong placket, ultra short skirt and white stockings, and the shy expression of a cute little creature. Sayachan exudes strong cuteness all over her body. Mo, too cute. How can there be such cute things in the world? I can't wait to pick up the whole person and rub it. Speaking of, the ocean teacher set the flash time to 10 seconds, which means that in the next few seconds, if you don't want to keep it, this cute photo of a girl's heart will disappear. Mr. Kingshi borrows your cell phone for a quick use. Xiao Manzang spoke extremely fast, and he glanced while talking and saw Mr. Kingshi's cell phone on the sofa. Yes, the phone is in. Mr. Kingshi didn't finish speaking, he saw Xiao Manzang leave his seat, directly reached out to take the phone, and then picked up the phone to quickly unlock it. His tone was full of anxiety, as if every second wasted would lose a year of life. After a few swipes, the screen of the phone was unlocked, and Xiao Manzang's hand was quick and he turned on the camera, then focused on his phone, and snapped a photo. The next moment, Xiao Manzang's phone picture turned torn, and the flashing time was over. Hey, great, luckily I caught up. Xiao Man patted his chest, looking happy. The whole process only took 7 seconds. To outsiders, she was crazy, and she also knew her name. After taking the photo, she bowed and apologized to King Shikan. King Shijun waved his hand quickly and bluntly said something trivial, so he didn't have to apologize so hard. And seeing that Xiao Manzang cares so much about that picture, even he himself became curious. Is Mr. Yang very beautiful? But Xiao Manzang is a woman. When a woman sees a beautiful photo, she wants to collect it immediately. Whether there is an answer to this question, maybe only a woman knows. Xiao Manzang apologized, sent the picture to his QQ, and then manually destroyed the Sahu photo on King Shijun's phone. After repeatedly confirming that Mr. Kingshi did not have a picture of Sajari, Xiao Man returned the phone and said that she would treat her next time. As an adult man, Mr. Kingshi is usually a bit nerdy, but his brain is not rusty yet, so he hurriedly said, "No, no, I will invite Xiao Manzang next time, not you." This is what he said. Xiao Man heard it this time. This time it was her treat, but he paid the bill. Okay, this makes her even more guilty, and she can't say she has to make up for it, otherwise it would be too rude. So, Xiao Manzang mysteriously took out his mobile phone and asked King Shijun to take a look at the picture of the ocean teacher. Mr. Kingshi was overjoyed when he heard the words, and after a closer look, his eyes bloomed with infinite light, and he was so speechless that he was so cute. Isn't this Sajari Izumi, the heroine of Iramang Gasensei? Leaving aside the JK uniform for the time being, the hair and face shape are completely printed out of the same model as Izumi Sajari in the comics. If you look at it carefully, you will find that the real-life photo has a sense of sight of a second-dimensional heroine, as if she is from the second dimensional. And Sajari was originally a traverser. In the spirit of respecting the original work, he copied the work intact, so the heroine looks exactly like her. This is a very hot news. If the ocean teacher draws live, the popularity will definitely skyrocket. Xiao Man said with a frenzied expression. Shahu Sauce finished the meal, packed the takeout box, and threw it into the kitchen trash can. I was told to wear a JK uniform to draw live, no way. Saguri knows that her charm is too terrifying. If the live broadcast is on, then her future life will be dangerous. When the close-up anti-wolf technique is not full, Saguri takes her personal safety extremely seriously. Any behavior that might endanger her life is not allowed. Speaking of being full of anti-wolf skills, system rewards are needed, but the system hasn't issued any tasks since she woke up. Didn't you say that you have no tasks for novices? Shahu Sauce pushed this question to the Manzao system. The master finally remembered me, and the system master said that he was very touched. The system became mentally retarded again. Sajari held his forehead. There is no such a low system, but if you should ask, you still have to ask. Master, you want to do a task, but unfortunately, the system master has no tasks. Master, you can do whatever you want. For example, continue to draw, or live streamed drawing or something, or fall asleep, draw as you want. The salted fish of your dreams can do anything. The system began to become chattering. Yu read www.yuyuganshu.com and ran the train with his mouth full, and nothing was the point. Shaoyuchen didn't want to listen to this at all, and now his focus is on anti-wolves. If there is no full-level anti-wolves, you must beware of bad guys in the dark when you travel far. Just tell me how to order the full anti-wolf technique. Saguzan interrupted the system's speech. If the system is left with mental retardation, I am afraid I will not finish it tomorrow. The system master really has no tasks anymore, or the master may continue to draw, maybe the task reward may be triggered. The system hesitated and finished. What do you mean? Will the task be triggered by continuing to draw? No, the system master really has no tasks, but rewards exist. As long as the owner moves in the direction of the cartoonist, the rewards will be issued at a certain stage. The system said. After hearing these words, Sajari understood the meaning of the system. This is a high-degree freedom traverser possessing system. It does not limit the life of the owner. Whether it is a salted fish without a dream or a cartoonist, this is the freedom of the host, and the system has no right to interfere. Anyway, the rewards are hanging there, I love to do it or not. Shahu chatted with the system for a long time, and finally asked the answer from its mouth. The next reward is still the anti-wolf skill level +1, and the requirement is that the fan value breaks through the 20,000 mark. Well, then I can update arbitrarily. Sajiri understood how to get the reward, and suddenly stopped nervously drawing comics. It's not a way to always borrow a computer. It's better to buy a computer after the first wave of draft fees arrives, and then update the drawing later. The system heard the words and silently mourned for her readers. If Sayachan can hear her confession, the sentence must be I don't recite this pot.